So the seventh point of the Elven Star relates in the seven-word system to the word yes. And in Sufism, this is the seventh plane. This is Allah. This is oneness. This is life itself. It's very hard to imagine how to embody that wisdom. It's too high. And we would not be accepted by the community if we were constantly in that state. So externally, we can't be that way. But internally, we can. We can constantly remember ourselves to be one with the one. We we talk about the term awakening and realization as though it were for other people better than us. It's not true. It's for seekers who are ardent and committed, and anyone can do it. It's just that you need to prioritize it. Really, you need to prioritize it. It's before everything else. And it's constant, and it just takes you from now to the end. That's the nature of commitment. And then it's available. So this is the level at which we're talking here, where your path is the spiritual path, the seeker's path. And it's the path of saying yes, basically. Now, that's not to say that you never say no or anything else. It's just that whenever at all possible and consistent with your authentic being, you'll say yes. So unless there's any reason not to, you say yes, which means that you forgive people and you accept things and you take on new adventures and responsibilities sometimes, because that's what comes your way. You just accept that life responds to you authentically from a mysterious level. It is taught that we create every single aspect of our external experience. However, there are three parts of our being that we need to understand to be the word we or I. So there's the conscious self. That's I thinking of myself as I. I've decided this. That's very clear. So you choose what to have in your life. That's very clear for us, but many people don't even get that. But there's another part of the I, the unconscious self. So a lot of what you do, you're not aware of. You create it, you create your life circumstances. Nobody else does, but it comes from your unconscious self, your habits, and so on. And then there's the superconscious, where that aspect of your being that is not physical, but is yours and uniquely you, it kind of guides you through intuitive processes and synchronicity and so on. So those are the three aspects: the upper self, the lower self, and the conscious self. That's what creates your reality. And there isn't anything else that does. So whatever's coming your way comes your way because you've attracted it. And you say yes to that if you can. The unconscious stuff that comes your way you might not like. And some of it you might need to refuse, and you've drawn it into your being in order to refuse it. That's a valid principle. That's called trial and error. Where, for example, you're tempted by an illicit love affair or a bar of chocolate or whatever tempts you, money, fame and fortune and so on. You're tempted. You've drawn it into your life in order for you to reassert your principles, practices, protocols. That's why you've drawn that challenge into your life, so that you can say no to it. That's included here. But if it's not that kind of thing, you just accept that what comes your way is for you to learn through. Now, in my case, I have this Sagittarius image, the image of the eagle, the flag that turns into an eagle that crows, Sagittarius 12. And it's described as announcing the new era. Humanity is on the verge of transformation. We who feel this must announce it. And well, I do. I think that's true. I do think we're on the verge of a new era. I mean, look, we can't survive like this. We have to change. If we don't change, we're finished. So that was an easy one. I don't know when it became easy. I don't think I spoke this way years ago. I can't remember when I started to do it, but I certainly do it nowadays. We're awakening. The whole species is awakening or dying off or going somewhere else. Surely. I mean, I find it obvious. So it's some burden of responsibility, in a sense, to be that kind of person that speaks up and says, look, our species is approaching extinction. Get ready for that event. Not many people would want to hear that. But I'm following my own teachings here by saying, okay, yes, I'm required to say that. And that requirement is me requiring myself to do the right thing. Now, in your case, your own seventh point of your Elven Star would give you a different opportunity or task or realization or whatever it may be for you. But whatever it is, when you study the seventh point, the Sabian symbol of that point, then you'll understand how to move one step closer to awakening. And you may have this joyful, wonderful experience of knowing, of faith, and that you're in right alignment and you're doing what you should be doing, and it's all right. That would cement the whole package of your Elven Star points. And this brings us to the seventh point. So now we've got an understanding of all of the seven facets of who we are authentically. And I think we then need to understand that all of the seven are necessary, and together they are sufficient for us to inhabit the true self. And that starts to resonate on a soul level. And we start then to move into soul consciousness. I call it Elven consciousness, but I also call it unicorn consciousness. I also call it Christ consciousness. I call it soul consciousness. Who knows what they really mean, but I gotta have a name for it, or I can't think about it and can't use it. So we move into a state of consciousness then when we can think of the seven bits of us, and we inhabit all seven with the confidence of somebody who is always being true. If you act true and you speak true and you always respond true in every moment through your whole life, that's enough. That's enough to awaken. There's no other mystery than that. You just got to be yourself. However, yourself is a complex thing, profound, far richer and grander than you have imagined so far. And that imagination is only lacking because we need to study it. And the Elven Star is how we study it, as far as I'm concerned. So, the seventh point seals the deal. That's when you know that you're doing all right. So when you start to enact the seventh point of your Elven Star, well done, well done. You've done well to get there.